Money.
This is a presentation of Northeast Streaming Sports.
He was a Giant, and he was a Cowboy. Now these two former rivals have joined forces to bring you the most insightful, perceptive, and controversial sports talk podcast in America. Former Dallas Cowboys defensive end Jim Jeffcoat locks horns with former New York Giants wide receiver Byron Williams. And now, here's Byron Williams and Jim Jeffcoat.
You know what? Good evening, Byron, first of all.
How you doing today, Jim?
I'm doing well. Hey, I was just noticing in our intro, I didn't even notice it. Both of us were making plays against the Eagles. Did you notice that?
I didn't notice that.
Look at it again.
And the Eagles are supposed to be the number one team in the NFC East.
The greatest thing since sliced bread.
And we love the Eagles and the Redskins and that NFC East, but
yep.
I'm glad I made some good plays against the Eagles because they don't know how to.
Yeah, that was interesting.
They get to flopping those wings, man, I tell you.
Fly away, Eagles. Whatever they fly, Eagles, fly.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why they were almost extinct.
Well, you just got to love the Eagles because when you go there, you always leave there saying the field is bad, the referees are bad, the fans are cussing you out. I mean, it's always something.
The only stadium in the NFL that they have a court in the bottom of it, they arrested them at the stadium.
That's right. They used to arrest people at the stadium. That's
Remember
right.
that? And they take them to court. Yeah. So.
Well, Philly, they do it that way. I can tell you that.
Yeah, and they talk about you like bad.
Oh yeah. Oh.
My parents come up there, but they come 72 strong. They weren't gonna mess with them.
Yeah, you need to have your bulletproof vest on or something maybe up there. I don't know.
Yeah.
I usually try to lift weights or something, get my muscles ready in case somebody want to feel my arm or something. No, we just having fun. Philly's good.
Philly's good. No, it isn't. Don't lie.
Well, they're playing good football.
They're good this year. They are the team to beat this year.
Yeah.
We both have to admit that. They're number one. They only have one loss. They play Tennessee this week, and I don't think Tennessee's got a chance.
Tennessee, they don't play complete football. They rely heavily on the run with Derrick Henry, but other than that, they don't have what they had last year. They got a good defense though.
And I'll tell you that receiver, the young receiver that everybody was criticizing from Arkansas.
Burks.
Burks, he's coming on.
Yeah, he's playing
he's
a little bit.
Big joker too. So
yeah, he's a huge guy. Yeah,
I watched him last week against Cincinnati, who you did pick, and I picked Tennessee. So, and he played well.
Yeah, I think Joe Burrow is getting ready to have his mojo working, and I believe that Cincinnati going to be kind of doing what they did last year. If you think about the Super Bowl teams the year before, one of them ain't gonna make it, so the Rams are out. So you have to say Cincinnati gonna be one of the teams to watch.
Yeah, I would agree with it. They just got to get Jamar Chase healthy.
Exactly. Yeah.
And then Joe Mixon was out too. And without Jamar Chase or Joe Mixon.
Did P. Ron have a good game?
Yeah, he did. He had a good game.
Yeah.
He had a real good game. And him and Mixon were at Oklahoma together.
Yeah, that's right. They definitely were. Yeah. OU boys.
But yeah. And I'm always going to pull for the receivers from Cincinnati because Troy Walters, their receiver coach, is a tremendous guy. I'm surprised he hasn't had a head job. He went to Stanford.
Oh, yeah.
And he went to Stanford. He's a great coach. He played in the NFL. He was an undersized receiver, but tough guy, hard worker, and I think he might be up for that Stanford job. It'd be a good
Stanford. They might be changing some coaches out there.
Yeah. David Shaw resigned.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And David Shaw resigned, and I was with his father, Willie Shaw, who was a pro and college coach. He was at Arizona State with me the week before.
Okay.
Talking about some things and how the college game is changing. Speaking of that, about the college game, they were talking about this kid at Texas. Listen to this one, Bijan Robinson.
Yeah, running back.
And they're wondering if he'll go pro, but his NIL is $2 million.
What?
Yeah, he gets $2 million a year in NIL money. So they're saying that why would you go pro? There's a player at Penn State, an offensive lineman, who's the #1 rated offensive lineman, and he told him that he's not going pro. He's staying there. He said, why? Why would I go pro? He said, I'm got living in the college life, and I'm making money.
Yeah, and you know, it's you know, just your decision. I think it's good that they paying these players now, and they have options, and they can decide whether or not they want to play. But when you go and play in the NFL, you know, you it's a whole different case scenario.
Yeah, and these kids they're gonna miss that college atmosphere.
And you know, I was in the A-ball what the coach for the Michigan Wolverine. He said he loved coaching college football. Yeah, he said he loved coaching college football because the players don't have no bills, don't have no worries.
That's true. That is true, though. You're right.
Yeah,
you got to worry about their family trying.
And so if you get $2 million, hey, shoot.
And that's not he gets the least, a Lamborghini.
Wow, get the least a Lamborghini.
Yeah,
but he's definitely gonna be a first-round draft choice.
Yeah.
He's but man, it's a different world we live in now with this NIL.
Yeah, it is a really different world, and it's kind of interesting what these kids are do now that they're getting all this money in certain positions. Oh, here he is, Jason out there.
Jason, you got a hump in your back.
Jason was out there Tuesday golfing. Then he sent me pictures of him on this nice golf course out where he lives at Gunner.
Oh man, we got to go out there and play.
Yeah, he did. He said we got to come out there and play.
Let me know. I mean, a couple of days ago, it was a nice golf day here in Texas.
Yeah. It was about 76 degrees. It was a beautiful day.
Yeah,
it was a beautiful.
But Jason, the Vikings played the Jets.
Yeah. Ooh. I knew the Vikings won last week against New England. I told Jason he was all nervous because it was a night game and Kirk Cousins. But New England is really good defense. You pick New England.
Not yet.
New England is really good defensively, but they can't score enough points to stay with the Vikings.
And, you know, it seemed like the Vikings wasn't going to lose 2 games in a row. But I thought Belichick was going to have the boys ready to go. But
I thought but it was just hard because, you know, I mean, the Vikings are really good. You know, they're really good.
We said they're going to make the playoff this year before.
It's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
There's still a couple of teams, and they can go to the championship game. It's just not one team that you can say is locked.
Exactly. No team really seems like they just automatically going to advance to the Super Bowl. It's going to be a week by week deal.
Yeah, and it's kind of interesting because let's talk about the NFC South right now.
Okay.
Tampa Bay lost to Cleveland.
They lost to Cleveland.
I think you picked that one too. You picked Cleveland.
I think I picked Cleveland because I said that. I like Cleveland from the get go. I just think that they lost a lot of close games, and I'm always pulling for a couple of kids I know over there. Garrett, and I got another kid I coached. He's on the injured reserve. Chris Odom. So I just kind of like him because I know a couple of kids on the staff, and then the equipment guy over there is a real close friend of mine. But yeah, I'm pulling for them.
But yeah, they got. I didn't think they could beat Tampa Bay with Tom Brady because he's got a good record against Cleveland.
Yeah, he never lost to him, I think.
Yeah, he's never lost to him.
Yeah,
and I just didn't think Tampa Bay, but Tampa Bay, I think, is still leading that division at 5-6. That division is not good.
Yeah, with Atlanta being second, it's it's not nobody's setting the world on fire. For sure.
Yeah. Let me ask you this question. Do you think Todd Bowles is a good head coach?
Some guys are good coordinators. He's in that range to where he probably could be a good head coach. There's something lacking right there. So as of right now, I don't know if he'll be a good head coach or not.
Yeah.
In my opinion, just because of the fact of the way the team have started and the things have went on within the team and the character of some of the players of that team. I just think some things that the head coach needs to step up and make sure don't happen on his team. And I didn't see that this year with Tampa Bay.
Yeah. Jason's saying it's an easy win for the Vikes over the Jets. We'll talk about that a little bit later, Jason. Jets have a really good defense.
Yeah, it's not going to be no easy win. I'll tell you that now.
But it's in Minnesota, I think.
Yeah, it's Minnesota.
But talking about Cleveland, too, is Deshaun Watson comes back this week.
He come back this week.
They're playing in Houston. They're playing the Texans. And they said some of the people that accused him of sexual assault when he was getting a massage will be at the game. I mean, I thought they settled this thing, and he did serve time. He served 11 games?
Yeah. Oh yeah. And didn't play last year. So
yeah. And he didn't play last year.
If he don't come out and set the world on fire, then he got to perform and he got to put all that stuff behind him and move forward. Which
is going to be difficult because I wouldn't have wanted, if I was in that situation, I wouldn't have wanted to go to the city of Houston after all these things that went on there. It'd be real difficult to keep your focus. Because
I'm pretty sure at the hotel there might be some protesters standing outside the hotel.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Ain't gonna be some crazy stuff going on.
Yeah. I mean, it's a difficult situation.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm not saying that he didn't cause this.
Yeah, right.
But it is a real difficult to keep your focus.
We know he was in the middle of everything, so
yeah, that's true.
And the only way he can rectify this is he need to win the rest of the season, every game he played, and focus on doing the right thing. Don't make the media just talk about nothing but the team and the focus on winning games.
It's kind of he has to do that because he's in that position. It's just like was reading an article today about Russell Wilson.
Yeah,
he had first of all, during the game last week, I saw that incident where the defensive lineman yelled at him.
Right.
This would bother me about the head coach. He should have nipped that in the bud right now. He should have said something about that if that was Jimmy Johnson.
And we talked about this several weeks ago. There's so many cameras on the sidelines and you going on and off the field, so everything is being watched now. You're under the naked eye, right? Yes. So when that happened, like you said, the head coach, you have to step up, and you got Russell Wilson, he's supposed to be the leader of the team. But man, when you getting people shouting at each other and yelling at each other to come out the football field.
Yeah, especially your quarterback. Your quarterback.
You don't see that. You never seen that back in the day.
Yeah, but also I had the issue with it is the same guy that was yelling at him. He just got a personal foul as before he came off the field. And now he's going to yell at the quarterback when he did something that didn't help him win. He just got 15 yards.
One of the things about playing football is one player, two players. It's not the big factor of winning and losing. It's the team.
Yes.
When you got to address, it got to be a team type deal.
Exactly.
Even though Russell Wilson was making the most money and all that type of stuff, and Russell Wilson got to do a better job being a leader.
Yes.
And more respectful. And it's got to be something that Russell Wilson needs to start dealing with for us on the field, off the field. And maybe, like we always talked about, maybe you need to just talk to some older guys who can help you navigate through the process.
Yeah, but I mean, that is the problem with a young head coach. Sometimes he can't command these things that you just were saying because he has to help Russell Wilson. They said that Russell Wilson, Sierra, had a birthday party for him, and only half the team showed up. That's no big deal. That's not a big deal. That's not playing football.
Well,
there might be a reason why they didn't show up. Got kids or something.
Why you want to celebrate you losing? If you win games, if I can see if Denver 9-2, 8-5, or whatever the case may be, I can see. Then you want to celebrate. Everybody else, when you that old and you talking about birthday parties, that's not that. Don't bring the other team into that mess.
Yeah. And then, but somebody went out and told them only half the team was there. That's none of their business.
Yeah.
That's sometimes things need to stay in the locker room.
Yeah.
And that's how I've always felt about it. There's some things, the issues with players and everything, and everybody's not going to be best friends.
And I saw the NFL Network. They were talking about Russell Wilson. And they were saying it had to be something wrong that's going on the field and off the field in Seattle. And that's why they traded him, because the general manager in Seattle and, of course, Pete Carroll in Seattle, it was something else behind the scene. That's why they wanted to get rid of him, get him out of there, because it wasn't something in the locker room or the team wasn't gelling like it's supposed to or was. And so, you become expendable. But I just don't understand that he hadn't done anything. And he had the last 3 games, he had 8 yards rushing, 24 yards rushing, and not throwing the ball and not throwing touchdown like he normally have done in the past. So go Big Blue.
Yeah, go Big Blue. Yeah. The Little Giants came to Dallas last week, and we showed them who the big brother was, as usual. I'm sorry, it's true. We showed them who the big brother was.
Bunch of crybabies over there. I told you, they had on those white helmets with the blue star on. That was the helmet that they wore in 1960, the first year that they started the franchise.
I wasn't even born yet.
But good. But the helmet, they probably spotted. The Giants were throwing up after they saw those helmets. So that's probably why. They know what to pull out.
Oh, well, the Giants I don't have anything but respect for the Giants. But
this game was a 28-20 game.
Yeah.
Dak Prescott, he was 21 of 30.
Yeah.
261 yards, 2 touchdowns.
Go on.
Daniel Jones was 21 of 35, 228 yards and 1 touchdown. So that what I'm thinking though, Daniel Jones is not making those mistakes that you've seen in the past.
Yeah.
So it shows a lot of maturity. But Dallas just right now they clicking on all cylinders. But the Giants, Saquon Barkley had 11 carries for 39 yards and 1 touchdown. Zeke had 16 carries for 92 yards and 1 touchdown. So Zeke came back that game after Tony Pollard showed out the last 2 or 3 games. So
yeah, and Zeke played well. He's helping him out. Pollard is still helping him, but I think if he's healthy, is Michael Gallup is the one who's starting to step up.
Yeah, Michael Gallup, he's a different maker. He's really what's really missing in that offense to bring a balance. But CeeDee Lamb had 6 catches for 106 yards.
Yeah.
So,
and then James Washington, who I'm not impressed with because he always hurt, the receiver they got from Pittsburgh, has a 21-day window to come back. But he hasn't been – I mean, you don't ever see him.
Yeah.
Well, Brown.
But the Dallas did use that tight end this past game. So you've seen the tight end more involved.
Yes.
A couple of them caught touchdowns. 2 of them caught touchdowns.
I agree 100%. And one of that quarterback, not the quarterback, I'm sorry, the tight end, when he leaped over the guy must have had his eyes closed.
Yeah, number 87. Yeah, the tight end. Yeah, he that was a pretty play.
Yeah, it was. And then he ran over the next one. But here's the problem I thought the Giants had, and this might be Wink Martindale's how he calls the defense, is that they tried to play man defense against those receivers with 2 backup corners. They were leaving them on an island. I mean, that's dangerous.
You can't do that with a young secondary.
No,
you got to give them help and have them have that area of responsibility, and maybe 2 zone or 2-man zone or something like that.
Yeah. So yeah, you're right. So that's the thing, and I thought that he never adjusted. He never made any adjustments, and that killed obviously the Giants.
Well, it was purely two separate games. The Giants beat them in the first half. The Cowboys came back and kicked them down in the second half.
Yeah, we're really mad at that. Second half.
Yeah, second half. You got to know how to finish games.
Yeah, and the Cowboys finished it.
Whatever.
Finished it. Just be honest.
Whatever.
They bottled up the running back Saquon, and you had no receivers.
But what I saw is this. The NFC East is a very respectable group of teams playing, and I don't think too many teams want to play the teams in the NFC East.
No, the only teams that have a chance against the NFC East now is San Francisco and Minnesota. But Minnesota hasn't beat it. Well, they did. They beat Washington, correct?
Yeah.
They've only beat one NFC East team. And I want you to hear that, Jason. They beat Washington, and Washington is the 4th team in the NFC East. And they should have lost that game, Jason.
Well, Washington won 4 games in a row, so they getting tough.
Yeah, and
the game is all about momentum and changes and thing and clicking at the right time. And Washington is that team that's clicking at the right time.
Yeah, they are. And Heineke is playing really well for him. I don't think Winston's going to get his job back.
Well, if they put him back in, they'll see a L back over there.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, but this was a good week. I'll tell you another team that shocked me with a win was Las Vegas.
Yeah, they did. Yeah. They shocked me too. I think they shocked themselves.
I think they did. They did. I didn't think Las Vegas was going to win that game.
Yeah, they won it. They played well.
Yeah, they did.
Well, they played
because I thought Seattle was the better team.
No doubt. The game was in overtime. Did they play in overtime?
Yes, they did. They beat them. Josh Jacobs had a walk-off, like 70-something yards. So.
Yeah, he had 225 yards, and he just 80-some-yard touchdown.
Yeah. And then Jason's asking, is it time for Aaron Rodgers to hang it up? I don't think it's time for him to hang up. I think he has to be more committed. That's the problem. He has to be committed to being the MVP again.
Well, he's been playing injured, and I think it's when the camera's always in your face, and you got to say the right thing at the right time. A lot of that can get too much, but I think he's been playing injured. I mean, then he got some young receivers, and not saying no excuse for him, but Aaron Rodgers know how to throw that ball, man. He could play.
Yeah, he did, but he didn't work with those receivers in the offseason.
And I think that's the key factor. I think it's about timing, and he's so busy off the field too. So I just think he's not, he can't do everything. He's not a Superman, but I think Aaron Rodgers got some more. He got 2 or 3 more years of making things happen.
Yes. Another thing is that this was interesting. I don't know if you heard this. It just came out. Patrick Peterson was on a podcast like ours, and they asked him what was the problem with the Arizona Cardinals. And he said specifically, Kyler Murray is only about Kyler Murray. He's not about the team. And you can see that, how he plays and how he acts toward his team and everybody. I know you're a Kyler Murray's fan, but I've been telling you that about him.
Well, I was looking at the salaries for 2022, and for us, I guess the salary cap and the overall pay, how much these quarterbacks gonna get making. Mahomes is gonna he's fifth right now. Then Deshaun Watson is fourth. Kyler Murray is third.
Wow.
Russell Wilson is second.
Yeah.
Because Aaron Rodgers first.
So you got 4 of them that don't have winning records.
Yeah, and so and there is another stat that came out with Matthew Stafford. He'll be making with off the field and all the stuff that he's making with the commercials and stuff. He can make $61 million this year.
Wow.
So I was looking at that and I was saying to myself, sometimes I don't know with these salary caps and the way these salaries are and the guaranteed money that players are getting now. I don't know if the structure of team football is being tossed to the side. It's more about quarterbacks and how much you can pay these guys and all this stuff. It's a lot of the concept of football is sometimes getting thrown out the window. And it's not it's about you getting your money.
So it also means that you should try to win a Super Bowl with your quarterback on his first contract.
Right.
Because if it isn't, because just like what's happening with Lamar Jackson, we know Lamar's a talent, but if you pay him, like you said, in the top 5 quarterbacks, that's going to be detrimental to the rest of the team. Not from a locker room situation. It's just as hard to get players because you can't afford them.
Yeah, and just look at the quarterbacks that we just named. I mean, only one quarterback out of the 5 is really having an outstanding season, which is Mahomes. Rest of them, they're making all this money, and they're not producing. Yeah,
you're right. You're exactly right.
So, and then you talking about Burrow, man, he gonna make some money when he get ready.
Yeah, Joe Burrows, he is. I just don't know what the Baltimore Ravens are going to do with Lamar Jackson. Now he got hurt again. I think it was his hamstring.
Yeah,
his hip was first. Now it's his hamstring. And
well, they know they can't win.
Won that game last week against.
Well, they know they can't win without him. That's for sure. He got to be able to be on the field for him in order to get to the next level.
But I've asked you this question before. That style of quarterback doesn't give you longevity. And that's what you got to be scared of because he can drag your salary cap down. And I'm not saying we all know he's a great talent, but how long can he last being that type of player?
You hit a brick wall when you get 28 to 30.
Exactly, especially taking that pounding.
Yeah.
You're getting clean shots.
Yeah.
But that's something that remains to be seen. They're going to have to give him money, but can they pay him what he wants?
Exactly. It's all about what have you done for me lately.
Yeah, it really is. And he lose to Jacksonville. It was in Jacksonville, but they should have won that game. They should have
won that game.
Yeah.
And Jacksonville, they gonna play hard.
Yeah.
They gonna play hard. They got a different coaching staff than they had a year ago.
Yeah, without having Urban Myers, no question.
Yeah.
But let's get on to the games for this week because we always talk about them. First game we're going to talk about is Pittsburgh at Atlanta.
I don't know what you get with Atlanta, but Pittsburgh, they're going to come in, they're going to play hard. They had a good week this past week.
Yeah.
They played good. So I just don't think Atlanta it would all cape up to be, but I'm going with Pittsburgh, and I think Pittsburgh is the type of team that will have some momentum in the second half of the season.
Well, here's the thing I started thinking about is Mike Tomlin has never had a losing record
Yeah.
He's been a head coach. They're 4-7. So it's a 17-game season. So they would have to win 9, correct?
Correct.
And I think he would have to win. He's 4-7. So he'd have to win 5 more. Atlanta is fighting to stay in because the NFC South is such a bad division.
Yeah.
I mean, you could be 9-7 and win the division.
Some teams have went to the playoff like that.
Yeah. The receiver, Kyrie Pitts, tight end, is out for the season.
He's out, yeah.
But I'm gonna stay and go with Atlanta because
you're going with the home team.
Yeah, and the only reason is because Cordell Patterson. I think they're gonna have a little difficulty. And their defense is not bad, Atlanta.
Well, that just reminds me of Pittsburgh Steelers. That their defense is good too. So.
Yeah, they are. They are. But I just think Atlanta's going to be a little better at home. I mean, I'm not going to say it's going to be a blowout, but I'm going to go with Atlanta on that.
The one thing I can say about the Steelers, whenever you see them play, they're going to have fans in the stands.
Yes, they are going to have fans, and they travel well.
So we going I think the Steelers going to be there to shake up the
Terrible towel. Yeah.
Terrible towel. Yeah, I'm going still.
So you're going with there. How about Green Bay, Chicago? Green Bay at Chicago.
Well, let's say I just think Green Bay just it's hard to beat. So I'm thinking
Pittsburgh beat them like a stepchild. I mean, not Pittsburgh, but Philadelphia.
Philadelphia beat them. Aaron Rodgers, will he be able to play?
Yes, with thumb and
then
you remember what he said.
I'm just saying, it's just something about that game. The Packers, they never don't lose to the Bears.
Yeah, you remember what he said.
They won the Super Bowl when Chicago won the Super Bowl, but ever since Aaron Rodgers took him, he ain't losing to the Bears.
What did he say? I own you?
He owned him.
Yeah.
He got a barrel trap at his eye.
It depends on the health of Justin Fields. If Fields play, Chicago will win. If he can't play, then Green Bay should win.
Yeah, Fields, he had a 100-some yard rushing week before last.
Yeah.
He been doing a good job his second year.
Yeah. So you're picking Green Bay?
I'm going Green Bay.
I'm gonna go with Green Bay, but an asterisk on that one. With how healthy Fields is.
I think Chicago lost their receiver. I think Moody is one of their receivers hurt his ankle.
Yeah. Not Watson, was it?
The leading receiver, he had like almost 400-some yards, I think. And
it has to be Watson then.
Must have been Watson, number 11.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's out.
So I'm gonna go with Green Bay. I'm gonna go with Chicago.
Yeah, they know more receivers out.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Chicago.
Okay.
Jacksonville at Detroit. This is going to be a good game.
I'm staying with Jack. I'm staying with Detroit.
I'm going with Detroit, but it wouldn't shock me if Jacksonville wins this game. But I'm going with Detroit.
Detroit been in every game, except one game. They didn't do well up in New England.
Yeah.
But other than that,
so I'm going with Detroit.
Yeah, I think I'm going with Detroit too.
Now we have we have Jason's Minnesota Vikings at home against the New York Jets.
Well, Jason, what you say?
Still here, huh?
Jason? What do you like? The Vikings at home? No, but you know what? Justin Jefferson got the most votes. Pro Bowl votes. So Justin Jefferson is my man. I'm going with the Vikings at home.
I think this is going to be one of those games that's going to be a tough game. It's that time of year. You kind of know the team. But the Jets are fighting for a playoff position too.
So you sound like you're going with the Jets.
No, I'm going with the Vikings. But I think it's going to be harder on the Vikings because the Jets have got two legitimate corners, and they have a good defensive line. Mike White played good last week.
Well, they call us finna get tested. I mean, they gonna get tested.
Now they lost the running
Jefferson. Shoot.
Oh, here he is.
Vice by 10.
As long as they don't play at night, they're all right, Jason. But they even won a night game. But they're 10-2, or they were 9-2. Then as long as they don't see that star, they'll be all right.
I'll tell you this. If they don't score over 40 points, they ain't gonna beat the Vikings.
Oh, the Jets?
Yep.
I don't think they can. I'm going with the Vikings.
Yeah, they got to score some points.
Yeah.
The Vikings gonna score some points.
Now we get to the game of the week.
What?
Washington Commanders at the New York Football Giants.
We got to love this, baby. I'm going with the home team. The G-Man gonna kick some butt.
Now you got to remember, Washington's won what, 4 in a row?
I don't care what Washington won. They ain't coming to New Jersey. They ain't coming to East Rutherford. Get live, baby. They gonna be rocking and shaking. Wind gonna be blowing, and we gonna kick some.
Are you sure?
Commandos butts.
Are you sure?
I'm thinking, yeah. Oh yeah, I'm sure.
You stuttered a little bit there.
I'm sure. It's Sunday. It's a 12 noon game.
Yep. So that's why I think Washington is going to win the game.
Go Big Blue. Go Big Blue.
The little Giants have got some health issues.
No, we don't.
Yes. You're
going to be surprised. We're going to have a great game plan.
You do have a good game. You had a good game plan against the Cowboys. It didn't work, but it was a good
it did work. The first half. The first half. I think we came out.
We played for 4 quarters.
I know we came out not loose or something.
Go big.
Well, you know what? I started to call you at halftime. You wasn't going. In fact, I did call you at halftime. You didn't pick the phone up.
I know. I was ignoring the call.
I know.
Yes, weren't we up by 1 point?
Yeah, it was 13 to 10 or 13 to 7.
Yeah, you're right.
13 to 7.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were nervous though. I tell you that.
I wasn't nervous.
I'm going with the Giants.
I knew that we were playing.
I'm going with the Coach of the Year, Brian DeBall. Coach of the Year. You going with Washington?
Yeah, I'm going with Washington.
Good.
Now here's another game: Tennessee at Philadelphia. Philly's got all these teams at home. Do they ever play on the road?
Did they play last week at home?
Yeah, they played Green Bay at home.
Man, it sure did.
Yeah.
It sure did.
Yeah.
Oh, it's hard to go against Philly right now.
Yeah. It is.
It's just hard to go against them Eagles.
Yeah, they still got to play the Giants twice, and I think they have one more game. No, they don't have any more games against Washington. They have one more game against Dallas, in Dallas on Christmas Eve.
Yeah, they got Dallas 1 and then Giants 2.
Yep.
So
I'm going to go with Philly, too. I don't think Tennessee has a chance. Jalen Hurts threw for over, 200 yards and ran for over 100 yards?
Yeah, he did. He had
he's playing to be the MVP.
Yeah. The Titans playing in the Eagles. Yeah, it's a 12 o'clock game too.
Yes. Yeah. So
I'm going to because that defense, it's going to be hard to run against that defense. They like running the ball.
Nobody stopped Derrick Henry yet, though.
Well, he gonna get pounded on this week.
Yeah, he's going to get pounded, but nobody stopped him.
Yeah.
Well, you're right.
Gonna let him get 100 yards, but I don't think they're gonna beat the Eagles.
Oh no, I don't think they'll beat the Eagles.
Yeah.
Denver at Baltimore.
I wouldn't. I'm gonna go with Denver. I wouldn't go with Denver right now because the way
You're not going to Russell Wilson's birthday party.
yeah, they're not playing team football. They missing
No,
something.
they're not.
They
No,
missing something. Denver had some high expectations. They're the worst. They're the biggest disappointment of the NFL season this year.
I would agree. And then making Pete Carroll look like a genius for getting rid of Russell Wilson.
But if Russell Wilson would call me tomorrow, I have a tough conversation with him and say, look, you got to flip the coin. You got to look at yourself in the mirror, and you know what? You got to go out there and you got this is you got the steering wheel.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
You ain't threw a touchdown.
I know.
You got 8 touchdowns in all season. 8 touchdowns.
I know. Carson Wentz has more touchdowns here, and he's been out half the season.
Yeah.
So you're right.
He's one of the highest paid quarterbacks in the league.
Yeah. I'm going with Baltimore.
I'm going with Baltimore too.
Yeah. Cleveland at Houston. The Deshaun Watts Bowl.
Cleveland gonna tear. Cleveland, they won 8-1, 1-9-1. What they record? Houston. They lost. They lost to Miami this past weekend. 30-15.
Yeah.
So they won 9-1.
Mm-hmm.
Now you got to go with Cleveland.
Yeah, I'm going with Cleveland.
Cleveland will probably win. They might end up losing one more game the rest of the year. They gonna be tough.
Wow, you giving a lot of credit to Deshaun Watson.
They're 4-7 right now.
Yeah. Oh, we missed a game. Thursday night is Buffalo against New England. We missed the game.
New England made me look bad last week. I'm taking Buffalo.
Buffalo at New England though, and they cheated New England.
Well, Buffalo is almost at home playing New England, so I don't think New England ain't really got no whole lot of advantage over Buffalo.
But Von Miller's out. He's not going to be back until.
Yeah, he's out. I saw where he was out.
Yeah, and he might have some meniscus damage. So
I'm telling you, man. Josh Allen, he might be the MVP. And I think he gon' the rest of the season. He's going to be playing the ultimate football that you want to see a quarterback play.
Yeah.
So I'm taking Buffalo.
I'm taking Buffalo, but New England's a hard place to play.
It is, no doubt.
Yeah.
I mean, you can just look at who's been up there to play them, and for some reason they play some tough football.
Yeah, I think Buffalo will get after them, but I don't think they're going to beat them bad. Because I think Buffalo has some issues right now. Kansas City is overall a better team than Buffalo at this point. I know Buffalo beat them early in the season. And the Patriots have some players stepping up. Couple good receivers stepping up, number 15. And but the Patriots, they also know how to play this game. And I tell you what, Belichick, if you don't want to hardly bet against him. Yeah, I agree with you. So we go back to it. Seattle at the Los Angeles Rams. Aaron Donald will not be playing this week. He has a high ankle sprain.
Yeah.
Stafford, I don't know what his status is. And then they lost Allen Robinson, who was a disappointment for the rest of the year. They were keeping a locker for Odell Beckham, and they got rid of that.
Yeah. They about to get rid of that locker. And the one thing I can say about Seattle, I can see them making the playoffs this year. Mm-hmm. And Pete Carroll done a great job. They got a lot of young players on their defense that are playing really well.
Yeah. And
they have made a huge surprise. For us, their draft choices of last year, phenomenal. So I'm thinking that the Seahawks, I'm going to continue to ride that bandwagon.
Yeah, I think Seattle will win this game.
Yeah.
Seattle's a better team. And Los Angeles has got a lot of issues.
They don't throw in the towel. They're talking about draft choices right now.
But the problem that Los Angeles had is they went bust to win that Super Bowl. Now they don't have any draft picks. They got salary cap issues and everything.
I think they 4 teams. They're one of 4 teams who won the Super Bowl to come back with a 0.3%, win percentage.
Yeah.
And I know the Giants, when they won in 2007, that next year in 2008, they didn't do that well.
Yeah.
A couple other teams had busted seasons after that. I know Cincinnati was one of those teams as well.
Yeah. So I think obviously Seattle's gonna win that game. And for the reasons you said, they're not a good team. And the one who's really disappointed is Jalen Ramsey.
Yeah.
Jalen Ramsey is playing awful.
He came out the first game of the season talking all that noise, and they went upside his head.
Yeah.
You got to shut up and play the game. You can't keep talking. You don't talk yourself into winning the NFL.
Exactly. And they're taking all that talking. They're taking advantage of him right now.
Yeah.
So the next game this is going to be a really good game. It's an afternoon game. It's at 3:05. Miami versus San Francisco.
Good game. That's going to be the game of the week.
Yeah.
Game of the week. I'm telling you, the Dolphins got to ride out to San Francisco, though.
That's what I'm saying.
I just think
that's a long flight.
That's a long flight.
That's what, 5-6 hours?
Yeah. And I tell you what, when they added Chris McCaffrey, the 49ers look like a different team.
Now, McCaffrey is questionable with knee injury, and his backup is out.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and Debo's had some injury issues, but they seem to show up on Sunday. Brandon Ayuk is playing really well.
He's doing real well. He's having a good season, great season.
Yeah.
And Jimmy G.
Yeah, he's playing good.
He don't play to lose, that's for sure.
But one thing about the 49ers, they're going to be physical. They're going to run the ball. I think I'm going to go with San Francisco this game. I usually go with Miami, but I just think that San Francisco will be able to run the ball. But also saying that is the coach for Miami was at San Francisco. So he might know more about them than anybody and what they're thinking.
He know quite a bit about them. I'm taking San Francisco at home, and I'm telling you that it will be maybe a knockout dragout.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. But I'm going with San Francisco. But it wouldn't. That's another one. It wouldn't shock me if Miami, because that coach is good.
Yeah, and he seemed to be and he seemed to have them clicking at the right time. And
this is another one of Shanahan's trees, because McVay is a Shanahan guy. Yeah. McDonald up at Minnesota.
Minnesota Vikings.
Yeah, now this Miami coach. Shanahan's got a little bit of, and then Wade Phillips' son, Wes Phillips, is at the Vikings. And he was with them at LA.
Okay.
Wes Phillips, yeah. So he's got a little bit of tree going, and they all are successful. So
but I'm
gonna go with, I think this is where Miami loses the game. I think San Francisco's a better team. Another good game, Kansas City at Cincinnati. It's a revenge game.
Well, Cincinnati, they need to win. They need to win out. I think they need to start playing hard at home. But what I like about the Kansas City Chiefs, unless you don't play a perfect game, you ain't gonna beat them.
Yeah. Kansas City is interesting because the premier receiver is a tight end, Travis Kelce.
Right.
And the other ones are that shows you how they work with Mahomes, because he's obviously distributing the ball to multiple receivers, but he's getting Kelce involved. He's getting Hardman. I think Hardman was injured It doesn't matter. He's gonna find you. So you better. It's kind of like a basketball game for him.
He definitely utilized everybody. I know one game he threw to 11 receivers in the first half.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm telling you, he can distribute that ball, and he got good instincts and everything.
He really does.
But you know, another key factor too is the offensive line for the Cincinnati Bengals.
Yes, true.
Will they be able to protect Joe?
That's true.
You know,
true. But also you got to think: can Kansas City get pressure on them? Because they got Chris Jones, but who else do they have?
Yeah,
can get some, because Kansas City's defense is not that great. They're
no.
Okay.
They average. They average.
Yeah. So, but I'm going to go with Kansas City.
Yeah, man, it's one of those games. I think it's time for Kansas City to lose the game, so I'm going with Cincinnati.
Okay. Here's one. This will be an interesting one, too, is the Los Angeles Chargers against the Las Vegas Raiders.
You know, I picked the Chargers this year to go to the playoffs, so I'm thinking that they're going to be a wild card team. So they got to win this game.
Well, they won last week, and I think the Chargers can win this game. But here's a question for you. Do you think it's difficult for the players to play in Las Vegas because of the nightlife?
It's got to be something over there that's causing them not to be focused. I mean, they come out and play one half good, and they play the next half bad. They come out and be up 17 points, 3 games, and then still lose those games. It got to be something that's missing with the Raiders that they need to, zero in on or focus on, because it's just the little things. I mean, they came back and won this game this past week. Now they did. There's so much talent on this team.
Yeah, and
there's so much talent on this team. Derek Carr and those guys. I mean, come on. Last year they finished strong. They about to go to the playoffs.
Yeah.
So what you think?
I think that the problem is, but there are other teams like there's teams in Los Angeles, which has a vibrant nightlife. There's teams in New York City, and we all know about New York City.
Right.
Something about Vegas that's hard for players to focus on. And then also your family comes out, and where do they want to go? To the shows, to the casinos, and things like that. So there are some obvious distractions. And I think you have to find mature players that can go through those distractions. And that's hard to do, especially if you have young players.
But you know what, though, too? They hadn't been the healthiest. I mean,
that's true.
Darren Waller is not there, and a couple other players
the receiver's out too, isn't he?
Oh yeah. Inside receiver, number 13,
Renfro, yes, he's out. So you're right about that. And their defense hasn't been playing at a high level.
And then they had high expectations on defense. Yeah, they had high expectations on defense. Yeah. Max is killing it. Yeah.
And Chandler Jones that was his first sack last week. First tackle for loss for the whole year. And
they were talking about how strong that defense is going to be. Going into the opening day, they went the other way.
Yeah, you're right. So I think I would go with the Chargers on this one.
I'm going with the Chargers, but
you worry about Devontae Adams because
you know what? One of the things that kind of scares you sometimes when a team win the way the Raiders won this past week, they can come out with that momentum. They can continue to start running the clock.
Yeah, you're right, and they got to. Yeah, now Josh Jacobs is questionable, but he'll play.
Yeah, 228 yards.
Yeah, that last play was impressive.
That was spectacular.
Now
he running like you ran on that interception you got. I think the longest interception you got was 10 yards?
Yeah. Okay. It was 70-something. My longest one was 77 yards against Washington. I had a 67 and a 27 against those New York Little Giants. Go Little Blue.
I can't wait to call Phil Simms and ask him what.
Ask him. He tried to tackle me.
Phil Sims just tried to make you feel good that game. I'm gonna say, Phil, you did a good job making Jeffcoat feel good.
I stiffed arm Phil. Like, get off of me.
He said he want to tackle you.
Yeah, but I don't know. We got Indianapolis against Dallas as the Sunday night game.
They coming to Dallas.
Yeah.
Jeff Saturday don't know when to call a doggone timeout. You got 3 timeouts, Jeff.
Yeah, he didn't call a timeout.
Call a timeout, man. Come on.
Everybody was asking me. He said we were discombobulated on the sideline. I'm like, wait a minute.
And then the coaches, they scared to say something to him.
Yeah.
You know, when I was on that coach, I go up there and say, hey, we got to call a timeout.
Yeah. Call the darn timeout, Jeff.
You ain't on TV. You ain't doing no, let's call this timeout. Let's settle down. Let's see if we can put a field goal up.
Yeah.
Got 3 times out and don't call a timeout.
And Taylor not being healthy is hurting him. But I don't know.
But he's
not better not sleepwalk against these guys.
He playing good now. Jonathan Taylor ain't no joke.
Yeah, but their defense is not bad either.
Yeah.
Gus Bradley's a heck of a coach.
But you know what? The good thing about the coach, you know what the quarterback gonna be.
Yeah.
He just gonna drop back. And he threw a lot to the tight ends this past week.
That's true, yeah.
He was dumping the ball off. He got to look downfield more.
Yeah. Because he didn't look for the Micah Pitts.
Yeah.
He didn't look for Pitts. So is it Pitts?
Now I was just talking about
the receiver from USC.
Oh
Pittman.
yeah.
Michael Pittman.
Yeah, Pittman.
Yeah.
But they offense is kind of simple. If they play that style, the same offense against the Cowboy defense, they gonna kill them.
Well, they gave Philly all they could handle in Philly. Like everything else, Philly don't take road games.
Well, they had a lot. They had a lot of same because that's when that Jeff Saturday was early coaching. But now, I think
I thought Frank Reich. Oh, you're right. No, it was in Indianapolis because that's when the coach from the Philly went up in the stands and said that was for Frank Reich.
Yeah.
You're right. It was in Indianapolis, but they gave them all they could handle.
Yeah, they did. They played. They really not playing bad football though in Indianapolis though. They playing good football.
Yeah. So the last one is New Orleans at Tampa Bay.
Man, Kamara gonna have a field day on the doggone Bucks.
And for whatever reason, New Orleans doesn't lose to Tampa Bay.
They got their number. Some teams just match up.
I'm going to go with New Orleans. I'm not going to bet against New Orleans because they must know all they got. Hey,
they playing in New Orleans.
Yeah, no, they're playing in Tampa Bay.
I'm going with Tampa Bay.
I'm gonna go with them. Look at this. We're almost done, but top coach of the year, Nick Sirianni. Come on.
Mike McDaniel down there in Miami.
I like him. I like Robert Saleh, and I like Kevin O'Connell. What about Mike McCartney?
Man, what about the Giants coach, Brian Daboll?
Daboll. Yeah.
Daboll. Yeah. What? I mean, what's going on with this?
Yeah. But this is a little bias.
It's a bias, big bias.
Yeah, Jason's got a bias, man. I'm not.
And the Philly coach, I had to give him credit. I'm impressed. He's doing good. He is. He's doing good.
Hey, but we're at the end of our show. It was a quick hour today.
It was.
We had a great
time. You know what? Going into week 13, 14 is.
Yeah. You got to know the teams that are rising and the ones that are falling.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. So it's a little bit easier to tell you which teams are going to win. But there's always upsets.
I'm so glad that we playing Washington this weekend so we can just get 2 games ahead of them and they can just go back down to D.C.
Hey, but Yeah, we'll see because you got to keep on. Giants have got a tough end of the year schedule, but
let me tell you this. Let me tell you this. There's always been a surprise every week in the NFL.
Yes, there has. And it's been great here with you this hour. And go Big Blue.
I'm going to 49ers and doing the waddle.
Okay. All right. Hey, you have a good rest of the weekend.
All right, we'll see you.
All right, buddy. Talk to you later.
All right.